Hey, here we are once again. How's everybody doing? Good? Excellent. I'm doing alright. Not too bad. Day didn't go exactly as I had planned. You might have seen my last video. I believe it was the last video. I talked about our supply truck was supposed to be here on Friday, and then it got pushed back because the transmission broke or something. It kind of occurred to me, I'm like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody knows, correct me if I'm wrong. But I didn't think like the trailers themselves had transmissions, so to speak. Okay. Now I'm sure there's a bit more to the semi trailers than just the big rectangular box and wheels underneath. I'm sure there's probably some linkages and stuff like that, and wiring and everything for it to connect to the cab. But I didn't think they actually had transmissions. So when they said the transmission went out on their truck, I'm assuming they meant the cab part of it. And it occurred to me, well, I mean, this is a big logistics company for food service. I would think most big logistic companies have, at least a stable or a small fleet of like spare cabs, that they just keep there in the case of breakdowns and stuff like that, so that they're not, like I know like NTB trucking. There's a place where we have our storage unit. There's a big NTB trucking outlet. I don't know what you call it, but they always have just a ton, probably like 10, 12 cabs sitting there. So I was thinking, why couldn't they have just hooked up the trailer to a different cab and brought it? But like I said, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't have extra ones. I don't know. But anyhow, it ended up to where I got up at about 5:30 today, and shortly after I woke up, got a call from a manager saying that they hadn't had any really word on the truck yet. They weren't sure when it was going to be there. They were thinking possibly around noon or later, but at that time they hadn't actually heard anything. So I went back to sleep for a little bit, and then a little bit later on, I finally, I got up and cleaned up and got dressed, and all the morning rituals, and went unloaded the back of the work truck, got all the grass clippings and crap out of it, because today was the last day the dump was going to be open. And I stopped in at work and said, any word on the truck? And they said, no, nothing yet. We don't know anything yet. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going back home. So I got back home shortly after I got here. They texted me and said, okay, they're saying it should be here around noon. We'll text you when it gets here. So it finally showed up, got it all put away, and now I don't have to worry about it until Monday. We get our next one. So yeah. So that wasn't how I planned to do the beginning of my day today, but it is what it is, right? You gotta deal with it. All right. You know what? Let's dive into some more of the Marvel DC comics out of this Cards 1 box right here. We'll just do like a normal deal. We're going to pull out a stack, see what I got. It'd be nice to pull out some like key issues. Of course, I don't know enough about comics these days to know whether something, unless it kind of says it on the cover, I'm not really going to know whether something's like a key issue or not. Key issue would be something where like a particular event happens or a particular character first shows up, either like their first appearance or their first full appearance, because sometimes they can have like cameos or like a mention, and then it's like an issue or two later they actually show the actual character. Or like an origin story, maybe it's a character that's been shown up in comics and now they kind of do it like go back in time with an issue to show how they became or how they got their powers or whatever. Those are like key issues. Obviously, any number one would be considered a key issue because that's the first issue of that particular title. So let's pull out. We'll pull out a few DC. We'll pull out a few Marvel, and then we'll go from there. All right. Okay. Here we have one I never heard of before, Hell's Angel, but it's co-starring the X-Men. It's number 2. I never heard of Hell's Angel. This is the onslaught of the Psycho Warriors. Of course, there we have Wolverine and looks like Psylocke. There's only 2 I see. Oh wait, no, there's Cyclops. Kind of blended in there with the background. Those are the only ones I see. I don't think this green guy is an X-Men, but like I said, I don't care what comics might be. I don't know. Yeah, but never heard of Hell's Angel before. I've heard of the Hell's Angels, but I've never heard of Hell's Angel. All right, next we have, this is a number 1. I'm not sure whether this is, it doesn't say like one of so many, so this might be like just a one-shot comic, maybe. I don't know. We have X-Men Original Sin. That looks like, obviously, Wolverine. That looks like Charles Xavier there. Not in his wheelchair, though. He's actually walking around. Going by the bald head there. That's what normally gives away is bald. Wow, the artwork inside it was amazing. Look at the detail on that. So it looks like this features Sunfire, Storm, Colossus. Well, Colossus don't. He looks like a regular. I'm always used to seeing him like just being all like, looking like all metal. But that wasn't how always was. He was, where he could like metal up. You got Banshee, Thunderbird, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine. That's a pretty interesting one. I'm going to keep that out. I'm going to put that with my ones back here in the drawer. I'll just set it there for now. Alright. Next, we've got Wolverine number 74. Pretty cool cover. Got kind of a motion blur on it. Makes sense. He's on a motorcycle. Don't think there's anything special about this. As far as it being like a key issue or anything, so. Next, we've got, looks like number 101 of Cable. Kind of weird cover on this one. Whoa, almost dropped it. Next, we have Exiles, number 10, A World Apart, part 3 of 3. I never read the Exiles comic. I'm assuming it's an offshoot of the X-Men. Probably features another group of like X-Men characters. I mean, that kind of looks like Cyclops there. Maybe it's more than the X-Men. As they show, like on here, like that's Fantastic Four, but it looks kind of different. And that looks like the Hulk. So maybe it's like people from the different groups of Marvel. I don't know. Alright, man, I've had this comic a few times. I used to get this one quite a bit in like the little like comic packs you could buy like at Walmart or Myers, where you get like 2 comics or 4 comics for like $1, in the little plastic bags. Yeah, this is the Punisher, number 62. Don't really think there's anything special about this. Alright, now we're diving into DC. Here we have a Batman. It's called the 10-Cent Adventure. I'm assuming this comic was 10 cents. When they put it out, it's probably like a special promotion. Okay. It looks like that would probably be... That's probably Bruce Wayne, and then his shadow is in the form of Batman. I'm guessing that's what that's depicting. Next, we have number 2 of Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. This is Shaman, part 2 of 5. Again, I don't know whether this is... I would assume this probably isn't any type of key issue, since it's part 2 of 5 of this other storyline. But yeah, weird cover. I don't want to make out what it is. It looks like Batman's face there, and then it's got these 2 other things on the side. That's kind of weird. Alright, next we have number 689, Superman in Action Comics. This is part of the Reign of the Supermen storyline. At the bottom it says, "Who watches the Supermen?" And of course there it's showing the different Superman. You got Superboy, you got Cyborg Superman, and Steel. And then whoever's watching them. I would put my bet on like Lex Luthor. Oh, this says he's got Supergirl in it too. Yeah. I used to have quite a few of those titles. Alright, and next we have, this is a one-shot. DC Comics presents Chase 100-page Spectacular. A one-shot comic. Jeez, wow, this looks really good. You got artwork on the inside. Yeah, I might put that one with my back in the drawer here too. Alright, we're at 14 minutes. Let's pull out 2 more. Pull out 1 more Marvel and a couple more DC real quick. So, Marvel, we have, never heard of this. Never heard of it. Looks like it might have some of the XMen in it, maybe. This is the War of Kings saga. Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah, it looks like there's Wolverine. Oh, that's got all kinds of people in it. This must be like a, I don't know, like almost like an Endgame type thing, but even bigger than that, because I mean, that looks like Archangel there. And is that suit almost looks like might be Quicksilver. Then on the back here, right here, that definitely looks like Logan. And maybe, I don't know if that's Phoenix. But then down here, that looks like Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I wonder if this is like a big, like, Civil War type thing. Huh. We better check that one out. And put that down in the read stack down here. Alright. Next. Cool. Movie's coming out early next year. So, okay. Got number 2 of Morbius, the Living Vampire. Pretty cool cover. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. The trailer looked really good on it. Jared Leto. I like him as a musician, singer, so forth. I didn't despise him as the Joker, but I would probably put him as like the low end of the totem pole, like at the very end of the totem pole. Like I even liked like the Joker on the original Batman TV series from like the 60s better than I like Jared Leto's Joker. But I still didn't hate it. I thought he brought something different to the role, which is always good. You know, you don't want every person portraying it exactly the same. But I think he's going to do a good job as Morbius. He looks really good in that role. So, should be good. And then we have another Morbius. This is number 3. And this is versus SpiderMan. So, who else is planning on getting their tickets for the new SpiderMan come Monday? They go on sale. I'm thinking about trying to go on and get. I normally don't try to go see movies at the theater like on day 1, but this one I might try to make an exception for. Because I kind of want to see it before people start posting a bunch of stuff about it, you know. So, there we go. Morbius and Spider-Man. We'll put these to the side too. Put those in the read pile. Alright, there we go. That's it. That's the next little run of Marvel DC Comics out of the Cards 1 mystery box that I got many years ago. I never got around to actually going through comic by comic. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of those Marvel DC titles. I would leave a link below, but as far as I know, Cards 1 is no longer around. If they are, they must be under a different name now. Unfortunate, but you know it happens. You know, sometimes businesses just disappear. But that's it. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. I should be doing some Funko Pop mystery boxes soon. My new Bam box should be here pretty soon. I know there's a shipping delay with it right now, so I don't know when it'll be here, but I know it's technically on the way. And maybe a couple other things, and then we're going to continue to keep going through all the comics that I didn't get around to going through. So, subscribe, you know about it. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, look out for yourself and those around you. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Until the next time, just your average Schmo. See ya.